Wow, the markets are bouncing now, but can we trust this move? What caused this big bounce in the markets? Look at what Trump just tweeted, right? It started off with a Trump tweet and it'll end, maybe not end, but it'll bounce with a Trump tweet as well. He just wrote, "Don't worry about China, it'll all be fine." He's writing this on a Sunday afternoon, US time, hoping the United States stock market won't open to a crash, right? And look at this. Highly respected, he calls him, President Xi, had a bad moment. Yeah, sure, it was Xi who had a bad moment. Wasn't it Trump who tweeted about not meeting up with Xi and 100% tariffs on China and then deleted that tweet like an hour later? Anyways, he doesn't want depression for his country, and neither do I. So he says this could be bad, like a lose-lose situation for both US and China. USA wants to help China, not hurt it, President DJT. Okay, so that's not the only thing that's happening right now. The White House, East Wing and West Wing are working overtime to try to correct that Trump tweet where I wrote in my Discord, I compared to Trump having mem periods. Like basically, you just get emotional and tweet something like PMS, and then you have to take it all back. You basically, he did delete all of it, and now he's saying he's not imposing 100% tariffs on China, and he's saying that he's not. He's going to meet up with Xi as well. Meeting is not cancelled, and not only him, but also Vice President Trump is out there doing the media rounds as well, trying to explain this, saying President Trump is willing to reasonably negotiate tariffs with China. Right? TACO strikes again, which stands for Trump always caves something. JD Vance walks back Trump's 100% tariff threat by saying it's a negotiating tactic. It's not the best negotiating strategy to let your opponent know that you're bluffing. And this didn't even last the weekend. Like I was expecting, we're not now even into the Monday Chinese Open. I was expecting China to come in and China stocks to crash. Look at this. The entire market is bouncing right now. I was expecting this is the Chinese stocks reaction on the NASDAQ market, because some of them are listed on the NASDAQ. Look, down, I would say about 7% on average. Keyweb, yeah, that's the ETF, down 7%. So everything's down 7% on average, which isn't that bad, because during Friday day, the China stocks were down like something like 3.5% on average anyway. So really the Trump tweet added another 3.5% down for the China stocks for that day. I was expecting to see China stocks go down, but now we don't get to see that. Okay, so the big question now is this: is this bounce real? This bounce, is it real? And if it is real, which coins should we focus on? Which coins, crypto sectors, narratives, coins are really bouncing and are going to lead the next leg up? Yeah. So about 5 hours ago, I wrote in my Discord that I think we're due for a big bounce, short squeeze, Bitcoin to hit 115, if not even 116K area. And when I posted this chart in my Discord, for guys in my Discord, you can already see this. It was very, very green with no reds. And even now, we only have like a few spots of red with a few spots of black. But when I posted in my Discord, it was all green, meaning everybody was shorting. Everybody was shorting on the market. And basically, everyone was expecting the market to go down. And that's exactly what market makers do. When I keep on saying, when everyone goes short, they will short squeeze. So I said 115 to 116K. And where are we now? We're now just hit 114K. This is what? Yeah, 114.7. We're a whisker away from 115K. I think we'll get rejected here at 116K because there's not many shorts with stops above here. Most of the stops are around here, right? 115. We're so close to my target now. And that I said even before I knew Trump would cave today. I mean, I always said Trump was going to cave. I was the one who gave Trump the nickname Barney Rubble Caveman, right? It's from the Flintstones TV series, Caveman. But I didn't know he was going to cave once again this quickly. And this is only a Sunday evening. He wants to cave before the US open, before the these two open. That's the NASDAQ and that's the E-mini SP500. Before these open, he doesn't want these to crash because they could gap down another 3%, something like this kind of open, and then keep going down. And then we're in a bad situation. So he's trying to negotiate and trying to, negotiate with China. That would work because China basically wants to negotiate as well. China wants to create a solution that works for everyone. And Trump makes a push sometimes, and then China hits back, and Trump is surprised that China made this kind of push. So now, which coins are actually worthy of getting into if this is a real bounce? And is this a real bounce or not? Before we answer those questions, first let's answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo use? Well, Pablo uses this exchange that's non-KYC, see? So that means you don't need to hand in your ID. So therefore, the IRS can't see you, tax office can't see you, FBI, CIA, nobody can see you, total privacy. That's why Pablo made this deal with them to win this exclusive prize of up to $120,000 and get 20% bonus just by depositing. Deposit $100, get $20 bonus. Deposit $1,000, get $200 bonus, right? You get the idea. Limited time only, folks. This deal finishes on October 16th, midnight. So, basically, if you're watching this on YouTube, the link is in the description below. But if you're watching on any other platform, such as this one, it's okay. Just click on my profile page, and there's my link tree or stand link. We click on that, and it should be the first deal that pops up because this is a great deal, right? With the Bitunix exchange. But remember, folks, this is only on the Pablo link. Only on the Pablo link. Okay, let's get back to the markets, folks. And so the Trump's really, someone must have told him, sir, you're going to cause another cascade, right? I do think we pull back unless Trump totally walks it back, totally says no tariffs on China, we're just going to talk and negotiate. Then we might see a wick down and we bottom and up we go. If not, I still think we have some sort of pullback. Like what would be a reasonable level? Let's say this. I'll do it on the SPY. I'll do it on the SPY chart. Let's say on this level, 641, 642 probably would bounce around there and go up. Unless Trump totally caves on Twitter right now. So here is the problem, right? Before he tweeted, I thought this would be a technical bounce. And because the whole board is very short, very green, I thought it would bounce up and then swing back down, and we would swing. I'll tell you why. But since he's caving now, so then that's not just the exchange-driven move to squeeze the shorts. Now it's more like there are fundamentals driving this. Whatever reason there was for selling on Friday, now that reason has been 50% removed because Trump's willing to negotiate right now. So the reason why it all dumped, the exchange has forced the sell, crash the markets, but half of Trump's reason has been removed. He's willing to be, reasonable now. And the dump caused by the exchange was just pure manipulation. It was just purely just to deleverage the markets. That's all it was. So, and now even Trump, the spark that created all this, is now saying he's willing to walk it back or be reasonable and negotiate. So then, what does that mean for crypto? So here are three scenarios where I think is what could happen to crypto now, because these are similar examples of what happened to crypto before. So this was that famous instance back in May 2021. We all remember Bitcoin was also near its all-time high, around 60-something K in April 2021. And folks were all expecting it to pump up. And then I said, we have a head, shoulder pattern. And here's the neckline. And if we break that, we're going to hit 30K. And that's when I made my TikTok video. Everyone remembers that. And that's when I first went viral on TikTok and how most of you first met me. And it hit 30K exactly. And basically, so that day, that was May 19th, was a massive flash out, right? Massive flash out in Bitcoin. liquidity. A lot of loans, leverage loans, obviously got flushed out. And so I think this is comparable. That's why I'm going to show you 3 situations where this happened, where massive liquidation happened, and then see how, then we established range. Range low was here, right? 30K. Range high was here. Start of the day. So the entire day became the range, and Bitcoin just went down to the bottom of the range, bounced up, down to the bottom of the range, bounced up to the top of the range, went to 28.5K, went pierced the bottom of the range, and then bottom of the range, and then boom, 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 up it goes, and eventually went on to 69K, right? So that's one example. Oh, another example, by the way, is COVID, the COVID crash. Here was COVID crash, boom, March 14th, March 13th, March 14th, even lower, boom, and then it didn't stay very long swinging inside its range. Unlike, May 2021, the COVID crash was basically just one big crash down and then just V bottom and then started coming up, right? And then going higher, higher, higher. The rest is history. So why was this bottom so different? Because in May, nothing really happened in May 2021 that I just showed you guys here, right? This crash, nothing really happened. The SP 500 kept on going up, and Bitcoin was like, just swinging sideways. Here, what happened was, on this day that crashed, basically Jerome Powell, Federal Reserve Chairman, came out and said unlimited support for the U.S. economy. So therefore means they'll print as much money as they can. And therefore, it's a V-shaped bottom, and it never got lower and didn't swing in a range. It just kept on doing higher, 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 low, higher, 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 low, higher, high, higher, low, until we're back to where we were before. So what I'm trying to say is, if Trump doesn't tweet, if Trump didn't tweet and walk it back, right? If him and China are still doing this, like triangle choke and arm bar and submission hold and all that sort of shit get to each other, if they're still, pound and ground and pound and wrestling, then basically I think we see more of this scenario, right? But if Trump genuinely caves, like he's indicating in his tweet, he could change again, man. He could flip 2 days from now. So I'm just providing you the scenarios. If Trump genuinely changes and negotiates with China, I'm sure China will be reasonable as well. They want to export to the United States. They don't want to end all of this, obviously. Then we would see V-shaped bottom and probably not much of a pullback, and we just go higher, 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 low, higher, 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 low. This, remember, was due to Jerome Powell, the Fed chairman, right, saying unlimited support. So we need Trump to basically walk it back and negotiate with China in genuinely good faith for us to see a V-shaped bottom recovery. Okay, let's do another example. Here is the FTX collapse. Do we remember when the date of the FTX collapse? The date of the FTX collapse was basically November 13th, I think. November 13th? November 11th, sorry. November 11th of 2022. Basically like this day. So, in this collapse, this is when FTX collapsed and Bitcoin hit what? Like 15K on that day, and then went once more lower, 15.4, and went swinging sideways in a range, and then broke out. So once again, this is what happens when there is no change in fundamental situation. We swing down. See, here's the range, right? Here's basically between 18.5 to 15.7. We swing down, up, down. This is top of the range, and then down bottom of the range, up, and then pierce the range, fake out, and then basically top of the range, bottom, and then we swing it down, and then we go up. There was no definitive news around November 2022 to change the situation into a V-shaped bottom. It didn't happen. That happened in March 2021, as I said, because the Federal Reserve came out and said unlimited support or unlimited money printing. They printed $4 trillion for the US economy. Didn't happen in May 2021 and did not happen in November 2022. So we could expect more swings and then up we go. What's another situation? I'll give you one more example. This crash where Bitcoin went from 58K down to 49K in one day. So that was like a 25% crash in one day. And this was caused by the Japanese yen. The Japanese yen reverse carry trade, August the 5th, 2024. I mean, if you just Google, August 2024, Japanese yen reverse carry trade, you find out the reasons. I can't take too much time explaining it here. So basically, after this, once again, look, we swing back up, down, up to the top of the range, back down to the bottom of the range, up to the top of the range, swing, and then up we go. Not really a V-shaped bottom because you see, like on September the 6th, a month later, we had another stab at the lows. But essentially, the low that was created on that day is kind of close to the low already. If the low's not in already, then that was already kind of close to the low, right? So if there's no fundamental reason, then we swing up and down for like a few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, then up we go. But if there was a fundamental reason, like what Jerome Powell said, unlimited printing of US dollar to support US economy during COVID, and then V-shaped bottom and up we go. So this time, I guess the key is this. Would you consider what Trump said? Would you consider what Trump said to be a V-shaped change? I cannot be sure because does this mean, well, what does this even mean? Does this mean there's no 100% tariffs on China? Does this mean he's going to walk it back? What if China retaliates? Will he take it softly and not retaliate? So it's still a question mark, right? But just remember, then in that case, the standard model we have on these sort of situations is basically for the price to swing up and down, hit both the range high, range low, and then take about 4 or 5 weeks, and then up we go. So it's still positive. I could research more into what happens when these sort of big flash crashes happen. But right now, let's have a look at which sectors, which coins, which narratives are going to do well in the coming bounce. Okay, first, straight out of the gates, what do you notice? You basically notice that, whoa, this is a bad dump on BNB, 1,346 to 861. Like a 40% dump, and then boom, back to all-time highs. So that shows Binance BNB season is still in. CZ wants his BNB season. As I told you guys, Aster, he wants Aster to pump. He wants BNB to pump. He wants BNB memes to pump. And another one, Pablo's coin, Cake. Wow, look at this. Look at this. Look how much they don't want Pablo to hold his position. Look how much they want to flash Pablo out. I didn't use much leverage on this. It was only a 10x, and I had plenty of reserves in my account. So I actually survived this one because I only used like 5% of my funds to do this. So it went from $4.50 down to $1.50. So even if you were using 2x leverage, you would have been wiped out, right? But I was using cross margin, and I had like, I only used like 5%, less than 5% of my capital. So I actually survived this one. So Cake, which is the main DEX on BNB, it survived as well. So CZ obviously want the perp DEXs like Aster to pump as well on BNB. So BNB season's still quite much alive. Okay, another one is one I've been hinting to for quite a while now. Look at this. On the day when the crash was happening, this Tower Bitensor, which is the largest AI coin, actually made a new high to nearly 390. And then when everything crashed, it had to crash 390 to 240. So like a 40% crash. And then it bounced back now above the old highs. Highest close in like 3 months. So AI, that's another coin, that's another narrative as well. I have more narratives for you guys. We're running out of time. I'll catch you next episode. Catch you guys. Bye-bye.